Well, two Iraqi refugees in two states arrested on terror charges. Now we're learning several family members of one of those suspects are also under arrest.
Omar Faraj Saeed al-Hardan in Houston and Awaz Mohammed Yunus al-Jayab of Sacramento are both accused of pledging to help fight for ISIS, and they apparently talked to one another. Take a look at a key exchange between the two. According to a law enforcement source, al-Hardan in Texas says to al-Jayab in California, quote, "I need to learn from your weapon expertise." Jayab replies, "We will make your abilities very strong. Our concern now is to arrive there." He continues, "When you arrive in Al-Sham, Syria, you will be trained."
Joining us, David Leopold, an immigration attorney now and past president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. David, thank you so much for being with us. So as we learn, good morning, as we learn about these family members of al-Jayab, the suspect from Sacramento there, that they are under arrest for transporting stolen phones and computers across state lines. What does all of this do to the case that's being made to allow more refugees to settle in the U.S.?
Well, you know, as I understand it, these two, from the preliminary reports, these two radicalized well before ISIS and came into the United States well before ISIS even existed. I think the point is that, you know, we need to be vigilant. We need to keep our borders secure, especially when we are bringing people into the country. But let's also remember that refugees coming to the United States to seek safe haven, to seek shelter, are the most vetted, are the most tested, are the most rigorously looked at of anybody that comes into the United States. So we have a very good system in place, and we need to remain vigilant. And we also need to be true to the whole purpose of why this country was founded, and that's as a safe haven to people all over the world seeking freedom.
It is, and you bring up a good point, though. Harden entered the U.S. as an Iraqi refugee all the way back in 2009. He was granted permanent status in 2011, so he's lived here for 6 years. How does someone go from taking refuge here in the U.S. to wanting to join a terrorist group against the country? Do you believe that he came with that intent initially?
I think that's so hard to say. I mean, how does somebody who is born in the United States, and unfortunately we have plenty of people that were born in this country that are identifying with this awful group called ISIS. And we need to make sure that we're vigilant at home, that we make sure that that this kind of propaganda coming in over the internet, coming in over Twitter, that we're very careful about it, and we've got to make sure that that kind of philosophy does not take hold in this country. Unfortunately, you know, we have open communication in this world, and people can pick up all kinds of recruitment from all over the place. I don't know how somebody like that radicalizes, and just like I don't know how somebody who's naturally born in the United States would think to identify with a group as despicable as ISIS.
Okay. David Leopold, appreciate you taking the time for us today. Thank you.
My pleasure.